Cancer, horoscope, August 2020. Loving Venus enters your calm sign on August 7th, and all is at peace in your love and money sectors. You might have outstanding issues in both of these areas, but there isn't an urgency to deal with them. You believe that good things will come if you're patient, and this optimistic attitude becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. Times might become a little more turbulent when change loving Uranus goes retrograde in traditional Taurus on the 15th. So watch out for some of your beliefs to be challenged. You experience the most growth when you're open to new ideas and opinions. But when things change suddenly, they take you off guard. Use the next 5 months to figure out a better way to react to challenging situations. A new moon in spotlight loving Leo on August 18th has you figuring out new ways to get attention, but you shouldn't have to look much further than your creative abilities. When other people are showcasing their talents, you're right at home displaying your painting, singing, or other artistic skills. The sun moves from outgoing Leo to more introverted Virgo on the 22nd, welcoming in a month of organization and order. Have you let things get out of control? Is your closet overflowing? Or has it been days or weeks since you returned texts or emails? Make a list of what you need to get done and start tackling the most important chores first. Egyptian guidance, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspect of the self for Cancer in August of 2020. Justice for spiritual. Seven of Swords for intellectual. Empress for physical. The Hierophant for social. And the Four of Wands for emotional. The Justice card from this deck is referencing Lady Justice, Divine Feminine. And she doesn't take sides, she doesn't consider, she just goes with what's equally, balanced with her scales there of justice and her sword to cut away evil intentions or unjustful things. This references like law, equilibrium, equality, justice, harmony, fatality, subjection to consequential logic, respect for natural hierarchy and order, rule of life. And of course, this also could reference, if you're in the negative aspect of your spiritual self, prejudices, factions, incorrectness, abuse of power, fraud, injustice, false accusations, loss of a process, problems of all sorts deriving from one's own behavior or being arrested. And as you can see, there's all these symbols here, feminine, and then here's the Cancer sign here. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there's other symbols here, the lions, the bird up here, the Isis there. So the Justice is telling you to keep yourself in harmony, because it's like, check yourself, you're gonna, better check yourself before you wreck yourself, kind of thing, with the spiritual aspect. So you may feel like you're on the divine path, or you may not feel that way. So you need to get that checked and see what's going on in your life and referencing your faith and what you believe in. The Seven of Swords here is a reference to Isis' husband Osiris being murdered by Set, but it has the Ankh here, or the Jed combination, and it's telling you that on the positive side, there's warning on your intellectual self, good advice, instructions, mysterious protection. Or if you're on the negative path, it's plans that come to nothing, unfruitful negotiations, lack of trust, loss. So these are the things that you need to be conscious of when in thinking about your life or thinking in general for August. Um, are you? Is there somebody you're not trusting that you should? Are you enduring a loss of some kind? Is there some kind of negotiation that's not fair and balanced with your spiritual divine path with justice up there? Plans that are going to end up being a waste. So that's what the warning is. Good advice. That's the good advice. Instructions. Kind of like set it up and don't follow through yet. Put it off. Follow through, or doing the follow through later, at a later date, out of the month of August, and let the universe give you that mysterious protection that you need. So don't let your thoughts get you tied up into something that you shouldn't be dealing with. The Empress out of this deck is the Divine Feminine ruling over the Moon, which is High Priestess, or Lilith on the dark side of the Moon. She is also reminiscent of Earth in the 12 zodiac signs. And there's all kinds of symbolism here in the bright aura or universal enlightenment there coming off of her. She's got the eagle, the golden eagle there on her fingertips. She's showing her breasts for nurture, like to give you milk when you need it. And it references positive in the positive aspect, intelligence. Cut. Go back. It references in the positive aspect intelligence, understanding, beneficial influence, action, initiative, divine nature or nurture, fertility, authoritative but polite person, resolving help, abundance, complete success, negative, stupidity, error, indecision, lack of lucidity, vanity, frivolity, waste, sterility, being sterile, inability to create concrete and tangible things. This is in the physical aspect of yourself, Cancer. So that's letting you know that you got to put in the physical work, spend the physical time in this physical world that references the intellectual, what you're thinking about, and also your social aspect that we'll get into. So she is guiding you and nurturing you, but you need to put in the work. It's like you can think and talk about it all day, but your actions speak louder than your words. So the August is a reality or a testing moment of, are you really at the level you think you are? Have you passed the classes that have been going through recently in the last 2 to 3 years? She's here to test you and see and also help you. So she's one of those really cool teachers that needs to test you, but she's not very segregated from your education. She's like, "Oh, good luck. Here you go. Here's your test. I don't care." No, she's like, "What do you need to pass? What do you need? Like, how do we get there?" Like, very supportive of your passing the exams. But remember, this is all physical. We're talking about physical aspect of yourself. The Hierophant out of this deck makes me think of Thoth and his Emerald Tablets, because he's got two guys down here below him, one darker than the other, and they reference the dark knowledge, like from the Dweller in the Emerald Tablets, and the light from like the cosmic experiences and lessons he learned from the opposite, like out in the cosmos. And it's positive reference, modesty, piety, clemency, relief from trouble, spiritual guide, the wise man to whom one turns, priest, doctor, lawyer, religion, family, tradition, inspiration, magnetism. Negative reference is excessive generosity, kindness, ill rewarded, loss of faith in self and in others, loss of one's own morality, vulgar and material actions, rancor, intolerance, enmity, and there's a lot of coloring there. There's green, there's yellow, there's red, and some may say those are Christmas colors or whatnot. But this is telling you that you need to keep yourself, like with that continued theme of this reading for August in Cancer, with the social aspect, separating the dark knowledge from the light knowledge and keeping them in their place, and only referencing them for the greater universal purpose, divine path that you're on. You can't be imbalanced one way or the other. You have to be able to be that mediator of yourself, of your social aspect of yourself. So with your friends and family or social things in your life, you have to be able to balance the good and the evil. Tell like people from the dark path some kind of understanding or compassion to get them to see it a different way, to help them understand that maybe there's a better way to think about things or to look at things, and then vice versa. Maybe they're too positive, which is like, I'll just sit here and be a beautiful blessing thing, but when evil comes knocking my door, I'm going to be massacred. No, you got to be ready to defend yourself and protect yourself. So there's a give and take here, and with social aspect, maybe it has to do with you learning from those friends who understand this, that there's harmony and a time and a place for all things. The Four of Wands out of this deck is about Khepri's glory, with day and night, life and death, alternating. And so it goes back to the Hierophant here in your social aspect yourself, of give and take, or balance of night and day, and like even though in the winter there's less daylight, in the summer it gets back the balance and there's more sunlight than day. It's a harmonious aspect of balancing out like the two, life and death. Positive reference, intuition, illumination, a project soon to be realized, unexpected good occasions. Negative aspect, small difficulties, confused material and intellectual moments. So being in the emotional aspect of yourself, this is pretty much self-explanatory, but you have to reference the other cards with spiritual aspect and the social aspect, if you want to go back and hear that again. With the like, it looks like a beetle mixed with a bird kind of thing here going on. And there's some symbols up here too as well. If the reference the crosses here, this is also code. Go look up magic squares. But so there's an emotional aspect of understanding the synchronicities, and the give and take, and balancing what you've learned. If you need more guidance, like because of the Hierophant, you can do research into things like this. You can possibly email me or become a patron and follow me. Whatever you choose, look into keeping that harmonious heart, your heart chakra, radiating into your spiritual growth or your social growth, or your heart just getting healed if it needs to be healed, because Chiron is, a big thing for the next 5 months. So wounded healer, you need to get that going for yourself, Cancer. Cosmic, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social and emotional aspect of the self for Cancer in August of 2020. Spiritual, Three of Cups. Intellectual, Four of Pentacles. Physical, Ten of Pentacles. Social, Six of Wands. And emotional, Six of Cups. The Three of Cups from this deck is showing like a ballet of emotions, of divine masculine, divine feminine, whatever, you perceive that as. The nature around it, cups overflowing. So, this also references the arts, especially performing arts, or abundance, exuberance, comfort, bliss, pleasure, solace, healing, excessive pleasures, overabundance, superfluidity. And that's the spiritual aspect of yourself, referencing how to get to that higher self, to harmonious. I keep thinking of the Buddha, the Tibetan training of rainbow bodies and stuff, or having loving thoughts, getting that in tune with your universe, or in tune with the synchronicities and the messages, and seeing them, and actually listening to them. And it references justice here. So with justice, it's telling you what it looks like. It looks like a ballet with the divine masculine and feminine in the universe, or the nature, or how things are meant to be. With as above, so below. Hermeticism. That's what this is about right now for you, Cancer, in August. The Four of Pentacles out of this deck is the investing card, or sitting down with somebody that financial advisor, or getting a loan, referencing power, legacy, gift, great talent, love of wealth, wish to provide for others, generosity, application for a grant or scholarship, hoarder, usurer, skinflint, inability to share, clinging to property, avarice, obstacles, pride, setbacks in business, spendthrift. So it's telling you need to be careful with your money and what you're thinking about using your money for. Maybe invest it and let it sit on that investment. Don't expect anything for a little while, because when you invest in something and forget about it, it'll come back like 2 or 3 fold, like multiply for you. And the Seven of Swords is telling you there's some kind of conflict that can arise with this, of, well, I'd rather spend it on something else that actually may not actually provide anything. You've already spent enough on it, and you need to spend it on something else, possibly. Getting carried away, because remember, Osiris caused emotions of vengeance from his brothers, and got murdered for it, instead of keeping in touch. So this may also play into who you're thinking about. Four of Pentacles, Seven of Swords combination is something of what you have may be causing pain to others. Okay? Or vice versa, what you don't have may be causing pain to you and what you're thinking about. The Ten of Pentacles out of this deck is having a dove in his hand and near his heart, having peace with all that he's acquired, and the physical aspects. So material is included, what you've collected, where you are, your home, everything that has to do with you, reflecting a reflection of your physical self, in and out, not just your body, but everything included, because it's the full 10, it's all of the things. And the Empress is telling you, hey, you've got what you need. Go out and do it. This young man's about to go out on a journey and take care of things. like go forward. July was good. Now let's go. Get this going. You're about to start a whole new aspect of yourself with the world changing and the astrology telling you, hey, look what's up. Here we go. The Empress is going to be there for you, even though she's testing you. Okay? You got everything. You've got all the knowledge. You've got all the experience. The physical self needs to act on it now. The Six of Wands from this deck like makes you think of an Olympian or winning, being a gold medalist or being whatever you could think of, or a runner or all the different sports in the Olympics, all the different things. There's Leo. You're in August with the crown. Even though it may be seem like a barren wasteland, it's not. There's all this nature still there. Trees, flowers, even the rocks can provide shelter or something to build with. Like so even though it looks not as good as you would like it, you've got a continuation of the physical aspect. The Empress had the lion symbol underneath her. Okay, Hierophant. Remember what I said about Thoth and the experience. Go do your diligence with the social aspect. Research. Um, Find people that are in harmony with what you're looking for, what kind of tribe you're wanting to be a part of, or maybe a new tribe you need to be a part of. Being like, okay, I'm done with this. Let's go learn something else. Let's go find a new community, maybe, or developing a new community, being that leader of a new community from what you've learned. Okay. Or finding that person to help you learn what you need to do to get to that point. That's what this is. The social aspect of yourself is referencing in August, Cancer. The Six of Cups pretty much is effortless harmony. I mean, he's giving her a light kiss. He's not fondling her. He's not doing any of that stuff. It's like she's thinking about something, and he gives her a kiss on the cheek. And this goes back to divine harmony with the male and female, divine masculine, divine feminine, up there in the spirituality. With the Three of Cups, Six of Cups continues. This is your emotional aspect of yourself. Going back to the Four of Wands, stable, synchronicities of the coding of the universe, letting you know, hey, you're doing the right thing or what you need to do to get to the right place or to get this kind of aspect or energy in your emotional, in your heart, and do the healing you need. Or if you don't need the healing, maybe you need to go help others heal, because it does connect to the social aspect. Maybe that's part of what the community you're going to build, and what with all these energies floating around and causing people to be in conflict or chaos. There's a void to be filled, and that's what we need to do, Cancer, is fill that void for humanity. Universal fantasy, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspects of the self for Cancer in August of 2020. Spiritual, Queen of Pentacles. Intellectual, Knight of Wands. Physical, the Magician. Social, Nine of Cups. And emotional, Four of Swords. The Queen of Swords is about understanding difficulties, so this is understanding the spiritual difficulties that you deal with, and that's where the Justice connects to the Queen of Pentacles, and then referencing the Three of Cups in the middle for your answer. Justice, divine balance between the masculine and feminine inside you, getting to that higher self with the yin-yang balance. Queen of Pentacles, understanding, sitting in these Himalayas. It reminds me of the Himalayas with Tibetans and the monks and loving thoughts that they have to do for 13 years to become a rainbow body, supposedly. There's evidence of this. If you don't believe it, if you refuse to believe it and don't look it up, then that might be the problem. You might have to let go of your stubbornness and what you believe in. Get more harmonious contributions from other cultures and communities, and see where the synchronicities are, because the universe does, or God, if you want to believe that, does talk to you in those harmonious aspects. The reason you got a flat tire is because you needed to take a break and not go on that journey. Okay? And then get this ballet going in nature and overflowing your cups and emotions and being happy and having all these connections. Cut the bullshit out. Get the balance going. Understand the difficulties and what they're telling you. If it's difficulty for you to hear this message, that's what you need to understand. It's like the first step to is acknowledging you have a problem. The first step to healing, or the first step to rehab, is acknowledging you have a problem. Yeah, you are being stubborn about things, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're actually in perfect harmony and you're on the right path, and you hear the message and you're like, all right, I need to stop X, Y, and Z because I know those things are not part of my higher path and divine plan for myself. The Nine of Wands is referencing ambition, can coincide with disaster if you're not paying attention. You can't just sit in your virtues or your righteousness. You have to be thinking about what else can I do? What can I improve? You're not perfect yet, right? So continue that achieving of creating a better you. What you're thinking about here with the investments or the financial situations that you may be in, be wary of how that may be impacting your life. You don't want to get murked, son. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be, once again, going back to the beginning, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay? Your virtues can cause problems as well. The Magician is referencing alchemy. You must give in order to get. You gotta sacrifice the tree to build the house, or you gotta sacrifice the wood around you to have a warm fire to cook on, or you know what I mean. Like, you have to put it in to get something out. So this is the alchemy card, the Magician, and it also references don't be stuck on sympathy or sorrow for what you have to sacrifice in order to get what you're trying to manifest. Okay, you gotta let it go. Okay, in the Ten of Pentacles, these values, all these pentacles aren't here just to sit on them and be stingy or in the ego place of look what I got. You gotta go out there and spend it and to get new experiences, new things, because this is a physical, material aspect of yourself that we're talking about. You got to go get it, but you have to be also in tune with your physical, your intellectual self. What we said up here, and your virtues. You got to keep yourself in check. And the Empress is also testing you with all of these things that I'm referencing and telling you about. Can you put it all together? Do you know the pieces fit? Or are you going to be stubborn young person that just sits there, or misuses the experience and information that you're getting, or you have gotten, or wisdom is experience pretty much, and intellect is education. So the combination has to be properly used, and that's what the test is really about here. She's telling you, and there are people in your life that are helping you as well. And we'll move on to the social aspect of yourself here. The Nine of Cups is referencing not acknowledging the good luck you may be getting, contemplating on something while things are up here hanging above him, looking down at what he doesn't have, what he his wanting right here is right above him. He doesn't see it, but because he's thinking too much about what he doesn't have. So, I struggle with this myself. I am a Cancer. I think about things or how unfair it may be that I don't have, and I'm not worthy. But maybe I know that I am. The universe tells me I'm worthy. So what the hell? I don't have what I'm worthy of, right? Well, that's the problem. You can't look at that. You gotta look up. You gotta to the spiritual aspect of yourself. Six of Wands, the Olympian, the virtue, the acknowledgement of, you may not have what you would expect to have in this barren wasteland in your social aspect of yourself. Maybe the people and friends in your life are not contributing like you would want them to be. So to go start out and get that research and get that new tribe, or reach out and don't give up. The loser is the one who gives up. His Olympian knows he didn't give up in his journey, and that's how he became the Olympian. Okay, referencing back to the dark and light friends or social aspect of yourself that you need to keep in check and harmony for that path, that virtue. Because if you're looking down here and you see how he's not looking down here, he's got them in check. You don't need to check on them. He knows what's up. He knows. He's already disciplined that social aspect of himself. He doesn't do this. He doesn't even look up here, doesn't look down here, he just looks forward. He knows this is coming down. See? It's up here. All these clues. This is divine masculine. This is all divine masculine. He truly understands how the universe works, connecting to the magician over here in the physical aspect, the hermetics, give and take. This magician over here, his eyes are closed. He doesn't even think about it. He just knows it's going to work. I don't need to look at it. It's going to... Okay? So the social aspect yourself, don't contemplate too much of what is or isn't or is going to be. Just keep doing what you're doing. Four of Swords is telling you that idols are symbols of reminder. So we're not doomed to repeat the past. But if you start getting emotional about the idols and wanting to tear them down, some idols shouldn't be up. Like when Saddam Hussein statue was tear down. There's no need for that guy to be, idolized. We need to remember what he did, but we don't need to idolize him. But then there's other statues that we need to keep up to remind us of the virtues of our past and how we were able to succeed in the challenges of the world. Like, Abraham Lincoln saying, hey, no more slavery, I'm sorry, we're cutting that out. So let's keep him up. But people like Andrew Jackson, that dude was Hitler before Hitler was. With the Trail of Tears, yeah. I don't care what he successfully achieved. When you do something like that, no. And then Four of Wands, code, universal code, acknowledging what belongs, what doesn't, what fits, what doesn't. Seeing the pieces fit because you saw them fall apart. You saw the picture before it became a bunch of pieces scattered. So you can reference the picture to put the puzzle back together. This is the emotional aspect of yourself. Your heart may be in pieces. You need to put it back together. Or you did put them back together. Don't focus on how the pieces are showing lines and cracks between them because the puzzle is whole again. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Sacred geometry activations. What message do we have for Cancer in August of 2020? Synergy. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. The origin of the word synergy comes from working together, and it can be described as the result of something that is greater than the simple sum of its individual parts. In the new energy, we can expect synergy to not only refer to a process with an outcome that is greater, but to come that involves uniting elements, energies, and even undefined attributes to create something that is completely new, different, and unexpected. This brings a wondrous element of magic to the whole process. In this activation, synergy is represented through the uncommon and rather bold choice of color combinations. By itself, pink represents the divine feminine attributes of love, nurturing, stillness, and receptivity, and the bright yellow-green color represents the new energy through clarity, beauty, and exhilaration. Purple brings in consciousness and insight, while the opening at the top represents the channel that allows input from a higher place. This communication is taken in, brought to the core, surrounded by loving pink and light, and transcended for release onto the earth plane in an appropriate energy that is in alignment with the consciousness there. The effects of this release are rippled through the emotional planes, the water, the mental plane, the blue, and can even affect us on the DNA level, the coding in the background. Keepers of the Light, who has a message for Cancer in August of 2020. Gaia. Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to Earth. Stay grounded. Gaia is the Mother Earth. She is the keeper of the light who holds the planet in her hands and heart. Her kiss is on every animal's forehead. She is the life that moves through the plants, the sweetness within the honey, and the force that encourages the bees to fly. She loves, protects, and guides all beings. She asks us to love them too. How can we help them? How can we help the planet? You are blessed to receive this great Mother card today because it shows that the earth itself, through the image of Gaia, is protecting your path. You are a strong, focused, and loving individual. Stay grounded and don't allow your imagination, ego, of fears to run away with you. Ensure your choices are for the highest good. Gaia is also bringing her motherly love to you and encircling you in a cocoon of peace. If you have had troubles with a mother in your life, or are feeling disconnected from a grieving of your own mother, Gaia helps revitalize that connection and will bring healing where it is possible. If you are a mother and are worrying about these duties, know that Gaia is thanking you for your hard work and commitment. The earth is blessed to have you. Witch Dragon has a message for Cancer in August of 2020. Omega Dragon. Harness the divine feminine power of creation. Intention. Hold your vision. Birth the higher consciousness. Ninth dimensional Omega Dragons carry divine feminine vibrations of Shekinah, the universal energy that created our world. Shekinah is the feminine counterpart of Archangel Metatron's higher light and represents pure creative vision. These powerful beings are assisting the birth of higher consciousness on Earth. Collectively, they hold the vision for the new golden age, and this will enable us to achieve the intention to set by Lady Gaia for the evolution of the planet. These beautiful silver white dragons will also help us hold a personal vision for the highest good. Every wish starts with a thought that is translated into a picture. These dragons can see into our mind and will hold our vision with us. When an Omega Dragon comes to you, it is time to give birth to a special new project, pathway, or aspect of yourself that has remained hidden. Call upon these dragons to fill you with the power of your divine feminine. This will enable you to hold your vision and bring it to fruition in a wise, balanced, and harmonious way. Most important of all, ask the Omega Dragon to look into the greatest desire of your soul and hold the vision of bringing it to manifestation. These dragons can be any shape or size. So just still your mind and give them permission to merge with your energy. Ask them to soften your path in the paths of all who hold the vision of the new golden age. Sacred power for Cancer in August of 2020. Transformation. Emotional freedom brings growth and positive change. The phoenix, much like the caterpillar, transforms into a new life after experiencing the end of an earth cycle. Just as the phoenix rises from the ashes, what you have perceived to be negative outcome is actually filled with positivity. Now is the time for rebirth and rejuvenation. You have come so far on your journey and have reached the end of this cycle in your life. The sacred firebird is a conscious creator, choosing to accept inevitabilities and using them to produce positive experiences. Within each negative experience, such as physical trauma and spiritual and emotional suffering, you have reached a precipice where new life is forming. Right now, the phoenix has returned to remind you to leave the baggage behind and to let go of your past and move forward. Use those negative experiences as motivation toward future goals and achievements. During this transformative process, you will emerge with confidence, strength, and direction. If you are currently experiencing hardship, emotional imbalances such as depression and melancholy, know that the hard times are almost over and a new life is on the horizon. If you are in a relationship, the phoenix represents strong change, encouraging you to look within to find self-confidence, independence, and mutual understanding with your significant other. This change represents the formation of a new relationship, including the relationship we have with ourselves. The energy of the phoenix requests that we access our daily rituals and habits for their necessity. Are they serving us? Do we need to cut them away and release them? Just like the phoenix, you will arise from the ashes stronger, powerful, and energized. Affirmation. I am able to transform, conquer, and resolve past issues with strength, courage, and willpower. I choose to transform my life now. Isis, what message do you have for Cancer in July of 2020? Magic and ritual. Crafting sacred practice. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. Magic and ritual can support your divine path now in the physical world, and you are encouraged to enhance your power with regular practice. The results that you experience will encourage you to continue with the practice as you grow in power, grace, love, ability, and wisdom, and apply your inner beauty to transform your outer world. For us to grow empowered and potent on the path of ancient feminine power, we need to honor our knowing and being and cultivate sacred practice. Sacred practice becomes a habit of growing our spiritual power and consciousness. Like a garden needing regular care and watering to blossom and flourish, our inner garden of the soul, where our creativity, joy, spiritual gifts, and bliss bubble away, also needs regular attention. Coming to our practice takes strength and inner will. Even though it can feel amazing, we still have to wake up, set aside time, and discipline ourselves to show up for our own inner growth. We will reap the benefits when we do, but we must also allow ourselves to fall in love with our practice or to craft something that really speaks to us so that we want to do it. The desire and the discipline together help us engage with our practice regularly, and we can grow so fast it can be quite shocking. When an initiate shows particular promise, higher guidance will often encourage that they develop a regular practice to hone their spiritual and creative abilities and more fully manifest their divine potential. They will grow faster and stronger spiritually and be able to step into spiritual healing and leadership to greater effect. You are one such soul, dear initiate, and you are being guided to prepare for this growth and authority now with your sacred practice. This oracle is guidance that you do have great power and wisdom within you, but you need to provide channels for it to flow and be active and empowered in your physical life. Sacred practice is such a channel. Without these channels, the ego is left to create on its own, which is not much fun at all. The ego believes in fear and separation no matter how much it may want to feel love, bliss, connection, joy, and fulfillment. It really cannot do it without your spiritual presence in life. Ritual and magic as a form of sacred practice are recommended for you as a way to bring more spiritual presence into your waking life, to heal and support the ego as you learn to create a life that feels better and brings you and others more fulfillment. Sacred practice with magic and ritual may involve any of the guided exercises in this oracle. Choose what feels good for you and experiment with what might be a regular pattern of practice for you. You are worth the effort. Remember, whatever effort you do, put what sorry, whatever effort you do put in will be repaid to you in wonderful benefits many times over. Once you experience these effects, and it might only take a day or a week or two for the effect to show itself, you will be more committed to continue. The effects in cumulative. The effects are cumulative. As you continue to practice, the positive effects continue to grow. If you have recently started sacred practice, this oracle is confirmation that it is working well for you, and you should not give up if you are not seeing the results that you have hoped for. They are coming to you fast. This oracle is also confirmation that if you are considering making an adjustment in your sacred practice, it might be time to do so, provided that you don't miss the gains you have already made with your current practice, and you remember that sometimes small changes can have big effect. Ritual and magic practice with clear intent and to be of service to the highest good and to manifest through unconditional love accelerates your power and growth, particularly when it is based on what your heart truly desires. It might be about connecting more with your body, about stilling your mind and expressing your voice or creativity. An example of practice is outlined now, but it is simply an example. As long as your practice includes invocation or prayer to divine forces of unconditional love, provides a structure through which divine energy can flow, and it feels natural and right for you, then it will work for you. Please note that if you have pulled the Pillar of Light card together with this one, then including the ritual as the heart of your practice is recommended at this time. Wisdom of the Oracle, what is your message for Cancer in July of 2020? Truth be told, honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. The Oracle's message: there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not the time for debate about which truth is truer. This is the time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to keep what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and glorious, flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. Relationship message. People tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. Prosperity message. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to experience the prosperous life you desire? If you want to be an artist, do you make your art a priority? If you want to be a healer, do you set time aside to learn new things to help you serve? A writer must write, and a singer must sing. Being true to your calling is essential to your moving forward. There is another oracle message here too. It's time to have a look at the real, honest truth about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about prosperity, about your relationship to money, to compensation, and to meaningful work. Ask yourself, what is true for me? And you will find the key to abundance. Protection message. Where are you being dishonest with yourself or others? If you're unhappy in any area of life, look for signs of denial. This can also pertain to others being misleading or withholding, or acting from hidden agendas. Now is the time to say no to dishonesty in all forms. Ask for the truth. Even if you don't like what you hear, Acknowledging it will be key to a beautiful new future, where you no longer labor under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. Set yourself free. Nothing less than the truth is required now. Cosmic message for Cancer in August of 2020. Integrity. So to walk with integrity and truth is to walk empowered in spirit. The qualities of this card represent breaking through habits and thought patterns that don't serve your authentic self. Habits and thoughts that leave you feeling guilty and less than who you are. These patterns or emotions serve only to disempower your true potential. This disempowerment is caused by the ego. The ego judges that part of you that lives in the world of habitual patterns and mind games, creating areas of shade. The more it criticizes and judges that shade within you, the more your divine light diminishes. After a period of constant attacks and judgments, you are left feeling deflated and disempowered. Mistakes do happen, and there are times we all say and do things that we wish we hadn't. But instead of criticizing and judging that shade within you, send that part of your love, light, and compassion. Be gentle with that shaded area, dear one, and understand that there is a reason why it is dark. With love, shine light to this part in you and truly see what fears lurk at its core. View your fears with compassion and understanding. Love and fulfillment all that's been hurt and wounded. Now acknowledge the light that is you, the pure divine essence that flows through your every cell. Remember your true divine self. Continue your journey with strength, integrity, and truth. The more you choose to walk in truth and in integrity, the brighter your light shines and the more empowered your spirit becomes. Affirmation. I am a warrior of love. With integrity, I walk this path of courage and truth. Associated chakras: solar plexus, heart, throat. White light message for Cancer in August of 2020. Alpha of Alcyon. A positive twist of fate and a windfall of good fortune are destined for you. Brightness and hope will alleviate negativity and give you the strength to find your way through a time of adversity or challenge. Finally, you will experience peace, love, and deep connection with your true self in the universe. Good things are on their way to you. The brightest star in the Pleiades star system, Alcyon, holds the frequency of love, the sacred feminine healing power of compassion, and the grace of mercy. In the midst of ancient Greece, Alcyon was so in love with her husband, Ceyx, that she referred to him as Zeus, and he referred to her as the divine wife of Zeus, Hera. Zeus was so irritated by such grandiosity that when Ceyx was at sea, Zeus struck his ship with a lightning bolt. In her grief, Alcyon threw herself into the sea. Moved by mercy, the gods transformed the lovers into kingfishers. These birds embodied the spiritual medicine of abundance, love, prosperity, peace, and happiness, bringing blessings of hope and healing to humanity. The Halcyon days take their name from this goddess turned kingfisher. They are the 7 days on either side of the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice. During this time, there are said to be no storms, only peaceful weather. Legend has it that the god of the winds calms all storms during this period, so Alcyon can nest safely. The term now symbolizes a period of luminous grace amidst a challenging time, during which one can rest in tranquility. It is also an omen of more peaceful days of love and prosperity ahead. Alcyon is the goddess of grace and mercy, especially in the face of heart-wrenching loss. She reassures us that we will find a way through, that there is comfort for us when we need it, even if further work needs to be done before we can fully released into a new area of era of happiness. When Alpha of Alcyon makes an appearance, we are nearer to the deepest, darkest phase of our suffering and can trust we are already beginning to emerge on the other side. Alpha brain waves are deep, calming waves. They are what we experience when daydreaming or slipping into peaceful relaxation or meditation. In an alpha state, imagination and intuition are heightened. As such, these brain waves are a gateway into the subconscious mind. As the bridge between conscious everyday awareness and deep altered states, alpha waves allow us to be awake and functioning while connected to an inner well of wisdom and support. If we are in stimulation overload, alpha blocking can occur. Learning to consciously switch off and relax by dropping into the 8 Hz to 12 Hz range helps us melt away stress and tune into our intuition without becoming too floaty and unfocused. The Orca of Alpha of Alcyon supports us in relaxing and reconnecting to optimism. Even during tough times in such a state, we will realize that difficulties will eventually come to an end and we will be provided for. This oracle brings guidance that a new reality of happiness is available to us even now, as we steadily make our way to the light of happy new start. Star seeds, what message do we have for Cancer in August of 2020? The Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Mintaka is thought to have been a water-based planet containing the most crystal clear waters you could ever imagine, so clear that you could see for miles and miles underwater. The Seas of Mintaka card represents this crystalline clarity of potential and possibility, and it's about the ability to choose to see the potential in all people and situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign that what you're currently doing it has great potential. Mintakans are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. You may have received this card as confirmation that a situation or project has extreme potential and will reach fruition. If it appears in a spread, it's a very positive sign that things are working out for the highest potential of all involved. It's a very uplifting, light-filled card that brings great harmony, contentment, and positive outcomes. According to Carl Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. When water appears in dreams and art, it often represents the unconscious mind. Pulling this card also means you may be called to bring to light any unconscious patterns of which you are unaware of. To look at them and see them clearly and consciously so they don't appear in your life as fate. What unconscious patterns or behaviors are ready to be brought to the light of day. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you see the potential in a situation you're facing? What unconscious patterns are you being called to bring to light? And that's your reading, Cancer, for August 2020. Thanks for watching. Become a patron, please. Click the links below. Email me. See you next month.